How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to my reloading bench. Today I'd like to show you how I reload the 8mm Mauser cartridge. There's certainly many ways to reload rifle ammunition, such as the 8x57 Mauser, but I had really good results with my first batch of hand loads a few months back. I'll put the link in that video down in the description box if you'd like to see the actual cartridges being shot and how they performed. So since it turned out so well, I thought I'd go ahead and show you my technique with the equipment that I happen to use. You're free to use whatever you like and discard what you don't. Now you might be asking, what's the point of reloading for a cartridge like the 8mm when there's so much relatively cheap, plentiful surplus out there? Certainly that's a very good point. I can think of 3 reasons. You know, if you just want to do basic shooting, if you're not really into accuracy or getting the most out of the rifle, then the military ammo is fine. But if you want to hunt, I don't think that FMJ, which is usually what those military rounds consist of, is the best choice for hunting. In fact, it might not be legal in most jurisdictions. So hunting is one good reason to hand load. A second reason is cleaning. If you've got a really nice Mauser and you don't want to put that corrosive ammunition through it, that's the second reason. And then the third is just for accuracy. I've shot the 1953 Yugo surplus 8mm Mauser many times, and it shoots just fine. It's relatively accurate, but I don't think you can get the same level of accuracy from surplus ammo as you can from custom hand loads. So there's 3 reasons right there. The equipment that I'll be using, let me show you my dies first. I'm using a somewhat specific or specialized set of dies for the 8mm. It's this right here. It's the Lee Collet Die set, and it's just a simple 2-die set. It's got a bullet seating die, comes with a dipper. It does come with the shell holder for 8mm, and it comes with, I'll show you, it's actually inside my press right now. There's the shell holder, and there's the Collet reloading die. And this is a specialized, resizing die. This is a kind of a specialized resizing die in that, yeah, it does deprime, but it only sizes the neck, and it works a little bit differently than your typical neck sizing die. So the main advantages are it only resizes the neck, so you can get greater accuracy in one particular rifle. And you don't have to lubricate the cases with this Lee Collet die set, and it's supposed to give you many more reloadings. Basically, it increases the case life. So that's what I'm using. The downsides are, if you've got more than one Mauser rifle, you're going to have to be careful about separating your brass, because if it's neck sized only, it's only going to fit or chamber reliably in one particular rifle. And then also, you need to full length size these if you're using an auto loader or a Mauser rifle that's not bolt action, basically, like a lever action. I don't know of any personally. So bolt action rifles only, and it's only for one rifle at a time. So with that said, let me go ahead and show you how I resize and deprime. I'll go ahead and take an empty shell with the primer still in there from our previous range session. Let's go ahead and run it through the deprimer. So before it goes in, you'll notice, I'll just take one of these bullets, and you'll see that there's no neck tension, which is what you would expect from the previous firing. Okay, I'll do a couple more of these for you, and then I'll do the rest off camera, and we'll go ahead and get to the next part. There's that extra force that's necessary for the collet to size the neck. So deprime, resize. I'll go ahead and do the rest, and then we'll prime these cases. Okay, before we get to priming, I kind of skipped ahead. You want to make sure that you measure your cases and trim any cases that are over the specified maximum length for this case. Yeah, that's the nice thing about this set of dies, is it doesn't work the brass any more than it has to. So looks like all these are in spec. Of course, I'll check them all off camera and make sure that we're good there, but yeah, you want to make sure that your brass is no longer than 2.240 inches. Okay, now we can prime. So the 8mm Mauser cartridge uses standard, careful there, standard large rifle primers. You don't need the magnums, just regular large rifle. So you can prime these cases with any method that you're comfortable with. If you've watched some of my older reloading videos, you guys know that I'm partial to this RCBS ram priming kit, which uses the press in this manner to prime the cases. Of course, whenever we are working with primers, got to make sure we have our safety glasses on, so I'm going to put those on. Okay, last one here. Alright, everything's primed, and now we can discuss the propellant charge. Okay guys, what I have here is the 7th version of the Nosler reloading guide. This is the most current one that I'm aware of. I'm using Nosler bullets today, so that's why I'm using the Nosler manual. You can use any manual that's got information for the 8mm Mauser. I had really good results with Varget the last time I reloaded for this caliber, but I only have 1 can of Varget left, and it's still very hard to find. Still a pretty bad shortage on Varget and a lot of the popular powders. So I have some IMR 4064. There's load data in here for that. So I'm going to load it up with 4064. We're going to seat those bullets to the recommended OAL, and then I'll show you what they look like. Be right back. These are the Nosler Custom Competitions, 8mm caliber, 200 grain, very high quality bullet. Not cheap. They're about $37, $38 for a box of 100. And this is a match bullet, a target bullet. You wouldn't want to use these for hunting, but they do make hunting bullets as well, as does Sierra and Hornady and the other big manufacturers. If you happen to have some factory ammunition, it makes setting up your bullet seating die pretty easy. I happen to have some PPU new production ammo, so we'll take one of these. Measures at 3.167 inches. So this is a little bit longer than what we want. We want 3.03. So I can go ahead and use this to set up my bullet seating die. So I've got the shell holder all the way up, and now I'm just going to screw in my, sorry about that, just going to screw in my bullet seating die until I get some contact. Okay, I'll just go ahead and lock this in. And I know that I'm probably going to be a little long, but that's okay because I can just adjust it here. I'd rather leave it a little long, and I can always push this, screw this down, and get the bullet seated lower and lower. Okay, so that's how I set up my seating dies. Well, I'm down to my last few grains of IMR 4064 as well. I do have some on back order, should be shipping pretty soon. I was able to find an 8-pound container for sale online, so I'll only be able to do a couple cases now, and then the rest will have to be finished up when I get more of this 4064. So we'll go ahead and load them up, and I'll show you how I seat the bullets. So we're just going to be running 44.0 grains of IMR 4064. According to the manual, that should give us a muzzle velocity of approximately 2,543 feet per second, so the mid 2500s. That's about where the military surplus ammo that I tested a few months ago, it was running right around that same vicinity. So should be pretty similar to, hopefully similar to the military surplus trajectory. Okay, there we are, 44.0 grains, right on the dot, IMR 4064. I don't think I even have enough for a second cartridge, honestly, but we'll just load as many as we can. Yeah, there's that beautiful 8mm Nosler custom competition match grade bullet. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Now what I usually do is I seat it about halfway, and then I turn about a half a turn, seat it the rest of the way. I'm sure this, yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a little long, but that's fine. 3.179, so we got to push this down quite a bit. Alright guys, we're pretty much right there, 3.0, 3.1.5. I'm just going to leave the die right there, 3.032. Some of these shells are a little bit longer, some are a little shorter. I'll get it as close as I can on average. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some insight into reloading for the 8mm Mauser. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in, and I'll do my best to help you out. Thanks for watching. And I just ran out of powder, only enough for 5 cartridges. You guys will have to wait for the mailman.